Hey, Jennifer here. Welcome if it's your first time or welcome back. Have you noticed how chaotic the world is right now? Like, let's be real. Let's be real. At least if you're in America. I can't speak for everywhere else. In America, have you noticed how chaotic the world is? Our economics are chaos. Our politics are chaos. The media is chaos. The traffic is chaos. In a lot of places, at least where I'm at in Atlanta, absolute chaos. And then on top of that, you have work throwing chaos at you, social media throwing chaos at you every 5 seconds. You're scrolling to chaos. The inbox is chaos. And then on top of that, we just have general life problems that tend to show up. What we do unknowingly is when we have a problem, sometimes we add more chaos on top of it. I want to give you a metaphor of what I'm talking about. So like, imagine you're carrying this big stack of boxes, right? And they're heavy. The overall stack is starting to get a little wobbly. So to try to stabilize it, you grab another box and put it on top, right? And then that starts to move and it looks like it's okay for a while. And then you grab another box and you put it on top. Sometimes we think like, if I just carry a little bit more, push a little bit harder, the thing will stabilize. But what it does instead is it all comes crashing down. And that is what we're doing with stress. That is what we're doing with the chaos around us. That's what we're doing with the chaos in us in a lot of cases, with overwhelm, with trying to fight through. We just have to stop because the chaos stacking is not working. Have you noticed that? Like, things will be a lot better than what they are now. And so our response to chaos in a lot of ways is to throw more chaos on top of it. It's like, I'm stressed out, so I'm gonna cut sleep. This is like, you already had this external stressor, and now you're gonna stress out your body by not getting the sleep you need. Or I'm having this issue in this particular relationship, so I'm just gonna go do this other thing and act like this is gonna go away, right? Like, that doesn't work. And so what if the answer for us is not to do more, but to do less? So how do we actually like stop the chaos stacking? How do we stop adding on to our problems and actually giving ourselves time to breathe so we can actually solve them? I have a couple quick tips for you. And again, this is going to be super countercultural because all we are doing as a society right now, instead of addressing our issues one by one, instead of bringing peace and calm, what are we doing? We are adding on more and more and more and more each day. And it's a lot and it's overwhelming and it's too much. It's too much for you to absorb and to live your best life with. So we have to push the chaos of the world away. We have to work on the chaos in our lives and we have to move with intention. This is going to be super countercultural because again, the world is operating pretty much in a 24/7 state of chaos. So what are some things you can do? What are some tips for you that will enable you to not do this? Here's some rules. You don't need to do all 5. We're not trying to throw more on your plate. Just choose one. Choose one of the things I want to talk about now. Just choose one and then move forward with that, okay? If you would like to learn more about how to reduce the chaos of the world and reduce your internal chaos, I do have a great book, Rest is the New Hustle, a blueprint for thriving without burnout. Why doing more is keeping you stuck and how to break free. So I get into not only tips for all this stuff, but also how to just adopt a mindset that allows you to breathe and rest and be and still succeed, still move forward in your life, but not at the chaotic pace that the world is trying to throw on all of us. So number 1 is practicing the 24-hour rule. I learned this a long time ago. I forgot who I should give credit to, but it's been powerful for me. Before you say yes to anything new, wait at least 24 hours. Just 24 hours. If you need help saying no, I have videos to help support you doing that on the channel. But before you say yes, just 24 hours, right? Because chaos stacking often happens in reactive moments where we say yes out of fear or guilt or urgency, not clarity, not values, not what we actually need. So 24 hours just gives yourself time, your nervous system time to like process and calm down and just really think like, is this necessary or am I just reacting to chaos? Here's how you implement this. Somebody asks you for something, small, even if it's something small. Small is not small when we're talking about chaos here, right? So you just say, let me check my calendar and get back to you tomorrow. Simple, right? Let me check my calendar and get back to you tomorrow. Or even if you have an idea about something new that you could do, write it down and then revisit it the next day. And if it's still important in 24 hours, consider it. If it's not, it was reactive chaos. So stop saying yes in the moment Give yourself 24 hours to think. And if it's still important tomorrow, great. If not, you just saved yourself from chaos stacking. Another great tip is the 1 in, 1 out rule. And so what this means is before you add something new to your plate, and I'm a firm believer in this one, and this one has been saving me from a lot of unnecessary chaos lately. Before you add something new to your plate, remove something else. 1 in, 1 out. If you think about your kind of life like an assembly line or a factory line, you only have capacity for a certain amount of items, right? So if somebody's trying to bring a new item, or if you even want to bring a new item, think about what item gets removed. If there's no item that can be removed and you're already at capacity, guess what you have to do? You have to wait on the new thing, and that's okay, right? So this forces you to confront your limits as a human being, because you are a human being, not a human doing, and that means you need time to be. So this prevents you from also automatically taking on a whole bunch of responsibilities without realizing what you're doing, which again, I have other videos that talk about that. Like, people benefit from you feeling like, oh, you're stuck and you just have to take whatever they give you. No, 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 no. So new project at work, drop or delegate the current one, or talk to your manager about, okay, I have these current priorities on my plate. You've asked me to do this particular thing. I'm already at capacity. What other things should be deprioritized? Asking that question can help a lot from people just assuming that you're available for new work. You want a new commitment? Remove an old one. New goal? Eliminate a competing goal. Keep your quote unquote active projects list at a fixed number. Most people do pretty good with about 3 to 5. Anything beyond that tends to get a little crazy. So keep your priorities the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing, and anything new has to have a place in your life. Yeah, for a lot of us, our plate is already full. And so before you add something, use this 1 in and 1 out principle. And this forces you to prioritize instead of just piling on more. Another one is scheduling white space. This is so important. Oh my gosh. And it's something that we're not trained to do. I think it should be taught in schools personally, but we're not trained to do it. Creating space. It could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour, it could be a half day, it could be a full day. But like, look at your calendar and block off at least 1 2-hour block of just thinking and being time. You can call it a buffer block, a rest block. You can call it appointment, urgent appointment, something that if somebody saw on your calendar, they'd be like, oh my gosh, she's doing something important, or he's doing something important. You're giving your brain time to think and be and process and plan. And so this creates room for you to deal with the chaos of the world and the things that are coming at you in a non-chaotic way. Does that make sense? Like, you get to schedule this time on your calendar, process what you have to process, and move forward, rather than having to try to react to everything in real time all the time. During this time, you can think, you can draw, you can do nothing and let your brain just kind of process what's been happening and just come up with insights. You can catch up on some stuff that you needed to do for yourself or prioritize for yourself that slipped, or you could just breathe, right? The main thing is, if you don't schedule white space, you will fill every minute with activity. And when every minute is full, there's no room to be. There's no room for life. Again, there are systems and structures in place that benefit from you not having a life. So this is a boundary you have to protect, which is why I wrote Rest is the New Hustle, because it's an unspoken thing that is destroying us and is actually hurting us in so many ways. And so this is something we have to just stand up for ourselves and just do, and just stop adding more chaos into the chaos, right? Tip number 4 is to ask, what would happen if I didn't do this? Before you add something to your plate, it's kind of like the 1 in, 1 out, but a little different. Ask yourself, what would actually happen if I didn't do this? What's the real consequence? A lot of times when things are brought to us, we assume we have to do them, and that's not always true. And then sometimes we can catastrophize because, again, society, especially media, is so sensational. So it's like, oh no, if I don't do this thing, then that thing will fall apart. But a lot of things we stress about aren't actually critical. Sometimes if you ask questions, so for example, in the corporate world, sometimes like a client will bring me something and I'll be like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how urgent is this? And in my mind, it might have been, oh, this would have been a 9 to them. And they're like, oh, it's about a 4. I was like, okay, so we're working on this thing. Do you want me to drop that thing so we can work on this thing? And they're like, oh, no, 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 no. That thing is way more important. And then I'm like, oh, so there was this additional thing that if I hadn't taken time to really process would have added more stress to me when it was unnecessary. You see what I'm saying? So like you have to do that with your life, with all things. So like ask yourself, stop. What would happen if I didn't do this? What's the actual consequence? And then decide if the consequence is worth the chaos. So like an example of this would be, what if I don't respond to this email in 5 minutes? They'll wait. What if I don't respond to this email until tomorrow? It'd probably be fine, right? What if I don't volunteer for this thing that somebody tried to volunteer me for, right? Somebody else may step up. Or what if I don't make dinner from scratch tonight? We might order in. Or what if I don't post on social media today? The world will still keep turning, right? So most of us are chaos stacking for things that aren't actually critical. So ask yourself, what would happen if I just didn't do this thing? Tip number 5 is to create a stop doing list. And this is very powerful. This is not a to-do list. Most of us have to-do lists that are way too long. This works because we're obsessed as a society with adding. But subtraction is more powerful than addition. It makes you conscious of what's been draining you, and it gives you permission to quit things. Okay, so get out a sheet of paper. And again, you're only choosing one of these. Okay, but this is the 5th one. Get out a sheet of paper, entitle it Stop Doing List, and write down everything that drains your energy, that's not moving you forward to your true goals. And if you don't know what your true goals are, get the book so you can uncover those true goals. Anything you're doing out of obligation and not true desire. Anything that's taking up a ton of your time, but people don't really notice, people don't really care about, and it doesn't really add value. And then pick at least one thing to stop doing this week and just see what happens. You may stop doing that thing and you may find absolutely nothing changes. And now you've just removed a little bit of chaos from your life. You may stop attending meetings you don't need to be in. You may stop doing work activities at work that nobody really values. You may stop over-explaining your decisions. You may stop doing tasks that someone else should do. You may stop trying to please everyone. Stop, being a slave to your email, anything. You don't need another productivity hack. You need to stop doing lists. Okay, so what can you subtract from your life? Start there. So I hope some of those things have been helpful. And then when it comes to chaos stacking, sometimes we even just do it with a singular problem, right? So a particular problem could happen and then we're like, oh no, right? And then in the effort to try to solve the thing right then, we create more problems for ourselves than the initial problem even warranted. You think about like maybe a little kid or like a toddler who makes a mess of themselves and then they try to clean it up, like let's just say they spill some ketchup all over or something, and then they're trying to clean it up and they're like, oh no, I'm messy. And then like, because they're moving their arms around all over their body, they're putting more stains in and they're making it worse, right? Sometimes in our life, we are like the grown-up equivalent of that. The main thing is just realize, okay, I'm probably doing a bit of chaos stacking right now. Let me just take some time and then let me figure out what is really, really important here. So I want you to this week spend some time looking at your life, looking at areas of chaos, looking at areas where you may have been adding chaos unnecessarily. And what triggers this for you? Is it certain times of day? Is it lack of sleep? Is it certain people that you have trouble saying no to and trouble making boundaries with? Because chaos stacking is not really random, it's very patterned. And if you know your triggers, you can disrupt the pattern. So self-awareness equals the power to choose differently. Don't always take people at their word. Sometimes people say this is urgent and it's urgent for them, but it's not urgent for you. Somebody else's poor planning is not your emergency. Somebody else's chaos doesn't necessarily have to be your chaos unless you choose to take it on. Super important. This week, notice when you add chaos, notice how you felt right before or after, and then pay attention to when you chaos stack, and then choose one of those tools we just mentioned. The 24-hour rule, 1 in, 1 out, scheduling that white space like it's an appointment you cannot miss, asking what would happen if I didn't do this thing, and then also creating your stop doing list and choosing one thing to stop doing and just seeing what happens for that week. And then you can add more things to your stop doing list. And eventually you're going to look around and be like, this is calm. This is nice. And it's going to be completely countercultural because guess what? The outside world is still going to be trying to do and throw the chaos at you, but you don't have to take it. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Please like and share and subscribe if it's valuable to you. You watching to the end helps more and more people see these videos. So thank you. And also check out my new book, Rest is the New Hustle, why doing more is keeping you stuck and how to break free. The link is in the comments below. It's available for you in audio or written as well. And yeah, just be your own champion. Be your own champion. You deserve to live. The world is going to continue to be chaotic. That's not going to change. But you don't have to be chaotic, and your life doesn't have to be chaotic either. All right, I'll see you in the next video.